'Twas a fine foggy day in Septober. The rain it came bucketing down, so I picked up some buckets and flogged them out right to the council for £1/crown. Through the drizzle a faun came walking, clad in an old flannel vest. He wore nowt on his feet but bunions, and a cauliflower were pinned to his chest. "What a lad has to do for a living," he said as he passed slowly by. And I recognised him. It were Ackroyd. I could tell by his roving dark eye, 'cause it had roved from his head to his kneecap, and was stuck there, swivelling round. When a Scotsman walked past, it looked up aghast, but at other times looked at the ground. "Hey up, lad," I said. "Hey, how are you?" He smiled like a club meat draw winner. He said, "I'm getting married tomorrow." I said, "Congratulations, when's the dinner?" So off we went to Jumbo Methodist on back of the bus, 59. The bride were too wide to get up and ride, so she ran like buggery behind. At Oldham, the hill was against us. It were far too steep for the bus. So I held the bride's aspidistras and made it easier for her to push. To cheers and hurrahs she shoved us, right to the top of the brew. But her eyelashes ran down her cheeks with the sweat, so she'd a tash and mutton chops too. The preacher got up into the cockpit, dressed in his best Sunday clothes, and he said as out spirit had moved him. It were meths, you could see by his nose. And after the wedding was over, we went to the Clogger's Arms, where they'd tripe and cow heel and parkin, black peas and black pudding on barms. And the bride cut the cake with her false teeth, 'cause someone had run off with knife. But she didn't take care, and they flew through the air and caused all sorts of trouble and strife, 'cause they hit the groom's father's bald patch and took a big chunk off his head. So he smacked bride one in gob with his hearing aid and left her in jelly, half dead. Well, at that the bride's mother erupted, without even excusing herself, and she poked the old fellow with a silver salt cellar, which wasn't too good for his health. Then the nephews and nieces chucked parkin, flirted black peas round the room, and the in-laws and the outlaws, they battled like buggery, and the bride's mother throttled the groom. She were 8'7", 6 foot wide, and arms on her just like a bloke. She'd got teeth like the Holy Commandments, 10 of them, every one broke. The vicar climbed up onto the table, crying, "Hey up, have yous all went mad?" Then bride's mother picked up a bottle of Harpic and emptied it over the lad. Well, the poor old vicar went white with the liquor and crawled out the way under the table, where great Uncle Ernie was taking his clothes off to give kiss of life to our Mabel. The pianist sang out, "Bless this house." I said, "You must be joking." Then bride's mother hit him so hard in the gob that the back of his head started smoking. Well, the rozzers rushed in, 64 at a time, and arrested the cakes and the ale. And off to the clink they dragged us and the drink, and the honeymoon took place in jail. We stood in the court the next morning, black eyes and broke heads in the dock, and the judge put his funny hair on and sat there, stern as a rock. He sent us all to Strangeways prison to do 6 months' porridge apiece, except the bride's mother. He gave her a year for causing a bleach of the priest.